Alright, so this is going to be a run through the RNG manip route up to Stoneman. Tara's already uploaded a video of the US version, and I will link that in the description, but things are a little bit different on JP because of Internet Area 1. I'll point that out when we get there. First thing I have to do is edit the folder. I'm just going to be rearranging it. The default start isn't... The default folder isn't great, so we need to rearrange it. That might have been too late, but hopefully not. Tutorial manip is exactly the same as it is in JP, or as it is in US, rather. The back guy has 37 health, so I'm gonna put this guy at 20. Normally you would just buster the first guy down to 17. Since I did some shots on the back guy first, just take 3, add 3 to the front guy's health, basically. That's how you do the mini-bomb fight. If you don't get the mini-bomb fight, you'll get the cannon fight. Cannons are a lot easier. You just fire one cannon, move down, fire a cannon. Or, no, fire one cannon, then move down and fire both your cannons. And you'll kill all of them. Internet 1's where we have some variation. The first 3 encounters will be the same as US. And then the 4th one changes a little because of the text when you get to the end of the area. The first 3 fights will all be escaped from. $1K Zenny is the hardest part of the route. So we can use L or R. L has less text, and then I'll set Mega Man's position to be facing downwards. Dude, first try. And then we can just barely talk to that. Finding that was really important. And then we do the same thing for the prog here. But yeah, if it wasn't for the setup to get that GMD by getting an encounter like basically right next to it, Stereo might have taken a lot longer to get route. It's kind of lucked out, I guess. So on US you do 1 buster shot in that fight, but in JP we have like 2 or 3 less text boxes right there. So our RNG is totally different anyway. We don't need to do any buster shots at all. We'll get this encounter. We need to move down, shoot, fire the buster, move back and shoot the other crossgun. And I think the rest of this area is the same as US. Do one wiggle on this wall, turn down, and just turn in as quick as possible around this corner. If you miss it and clip the corner, you can usually still get in without an encounter. There's not too much danger there. These areas should also be exactly the same as far as encounters go. We're going to be picking up 2 Mech Guard Gs for later on. Do one wiggle on that wall and then turn. It actually doesn't matter what wall you do the wiggle on, I just find it easiest there. So you could just YOLO the rest of this comp, but if you want to take it safe... Oops. You should talk to this prog before you save. If you want to play it safe, this is how you do it. This last bit has some somewhat tight walking. Do one wiggle there. Oops. But it's not too bad. So running up to this corner instead, there won't be an encounter check in that time. You're totally safe to do it. You kind of bounce off that the wall of that fire. Get the BMD rather. You resetting in. You have to save after you do the fire. In this encounter, you just do area grab wide sword. And Fireman's super easy. Shoot him once. Then sword, 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 wait, sword. And now we're doing Melee's piano later, so we just go to bed now. We decided to pick up this escape early on. We don't use it yet up to the Stoneman, but we definitely will use it in future areas. Well, almost definitely. We'll drop it if we don't need it. School comps are interesting. We only get 2 encounters. We could only get 1 encounter. You do one wiggle on the way to here. It doesn't matter which wall. You use area grab wide sword or area grab sword to take him out. We could only get 1 encounter, but there's there's a certain chip that we want to pick up that's in a BMD, and getting that chip gives us an extra encounter. You're supposed to move straight forward a little at the start of that comp instead of holding right immediately. But as long as you don't run to the end of this corridor, then you shouldn't get an encounter anyway. And you can talk to this particular door at any point because it resets your position afterwards. And you do have to do one wiggle on the way down, on the way through the previous area to make this work. Alright, that movement is a little bit tight. Oh, you can actually skip that. It does count as a cutscene. One wiggle here. Just hold left off the reset. Oops. Yeah. We've gone through a couple different setups in some of the areas, so excuse me if I make a few mistakes. You shouldn't get encounters on the way down here. Now need a save reset. So, using a number door resets your encounters, or your step counter, as does changing areas. So, not much of a risk at all. Do one wiggle before the next area. This one is somewhat tight as well. Oh, you actually don't have to save reset there. You can just run into the next area. Alright, so right here, you have to kind of clip that little corner. So it's kind of tight. You don't have to save reset here, but it is possible you get an encounter on the way to the BMD. Now we do the second folder edit. Alright, and now after that we edit in Quake, Fire Tower, Escape, Roll, Cannon, this thing, and this thing. And then we save reset. That gets us Time Bomb. So we do get an extra encounter to pick up this Cannon C, but we do make use of the encounter by picking up a chip that we probably wanted anyway. Now we're going to power up. I do recommend saving before Numberman just in case, assuming you want to finish the run. because you can accidentally, like, if you have time bombs spawn on top of you, they can just kill you. Like, they do a lot of damage. Numberman's by far the worst part of the run right now. Wow. 2 escapes. I guess if you take too long on this phase, the number balls could kill you. But kind of unlikely, I feel. Make sure you don't use Zeta Cannon even though it's in our folder. You can only hit Numberman with 2 cannons with use of Zeta Cannon, and it takes 3 cannons to make it. I'm actually going to take these here to hopefully be able to take more than 1 ship on the next turn. That might have been a cannon A, I probably should have checked. Custom gauge should fill by the time he's at 40 though. It was a cannon C, so it didn't matter. So yeah, Numberman is by far the worst part. 50 seconds is actually, like, right now, in my mind, anything sub 1 minute on Numberman is pretty good. That fight went pretty well, I got Quake. For now, we're assuming that we want the HP memory in this car. This doesn't require any setup, you can just run to it. It's right in the middle. Alright, so now we want to do the melee piano to, we'll get 1 encounter in here and pick up Invis. And then we're also going to grab the Recon of L. We're not going to grab the melee link or at mail, whatever it's called. Sorry, I play on Japanese, I don't know item names. We're going to pick that up from an email later. This fight's also different than in US. In US you use area grab sword. In JP it just happens that the edit puts a shockwave in the right position. So we just use Shockwave. Use the Shockwave and move up, it'll kill him. Then you just run to the GMD. Easy every time. The end of the comp is the same as US, even though the fight's different. Need to talk to this guy first. Alright, so the Gutsman fight uses an audio cue. Which I got first try, cool. The window is 9 frames, I want to say, or 11 or something. It's not too bad at all. You should use Zeta Cannon right away and don't do what I did. You have time for 2 shots as soon as you activate the PA, and then 3 on every movement, assuming he's 1 panel or less away. And then you also want to buster him down to Quake range. It's possible you'll draw Fire Tower instead of Quake. It might be possible you draw both, but you want to buster him down to Quake just in case. Fire Tower does do 10 more damage though. Now we're back on the net to do Stoneman. We're going to be picking up 3 dash Gs and Longsword on this visit, as well as another power-up, which we don't really care about. You don't have to buffer your steps there. The first 3 encounters are exactly the same as the first visit, so Escape is still in slot 11. I'll try to put the notes in the description. I'm thinking if we don't need this 2K Zenny to get the power up later anyway, we're probably gonna drop it, and we might drop it anyway. Getting the power up now, that is. It depends how things work out later. Just know that this might change once the route is done. Oh, I'm good. I'll do a few run-throughs actually trying for speed to see how this compares to the current route. But right now I just want to get this up since JP is a little different. Oh, this is actually, this part right here is where it changes. You want to do that kind of a movement. Add the power up, save reset, hold down left to left. Shit. You hold down left to left and then you just run into this corner. You don't direction change at all. I don't remember if you go... Oh wait, I remember, okay. Do I? Left? Excuse me while I remember the setup. Alright, that's it. So you do down left to left, then you change as soon as you hit the walls, and you'll get fishy. You need to buster it twice and hit it with sword. The way you do that is take a step back. The step back won't negatively impact the results. In fact, we get dash G because of it. When we get to the next area, you should be able to run all the way to the end here without an encounter. So then, we're just doing the familiar dash G setup in this corner. This encounter is exactly the same as the current record gets. I believe. I don't think it's been changed. When we get here, we're going to change it down, do one wiggle, and then run straight into this wall. Now here we want to walk onto the ramp, then hold B, let go of B, and hold B again. And you can do that open air on ramps because Mega Man's movement speed doesn't change, so it just kills one frame every time you toggle whether you're running or walking. It's the same as doing a wiggle, only a little easier. So basically you want to, when you get on the ramp, you want to start holding B and do one wiggle. And then you want to not screw up the next walking. Alright, so for the next part we pretty much just want to move optimally until the end. Then when we get onto this last ramp, do one wiggle. Again, you can let go of B and hold it again to do that there. I'm going to buster this guy down to 80 health and sword him after tanking a hit. You are supposed to tank the hit. And that gets us longsword pass. Then we do a folder edit. This one's really long, but it's definitely going to change. I don't know what order you put these in to draw them optimally, so I'm just going to do it like this. And you save reset and run straight in. And that's Stoneman down. Goodbye, Stoneman. And yeah, that's the run up to Stoneman on JP. Try to put all the relevant notes in the description, including the folder edits. The Stoneman edit will definitely change, but I'll add that in as well. And yeah,